Hi, this is Primary Cinema, and movies often pull from developments in other media, like the found footage films spawned from the digital camera revolution, or the collection of films satirizing reality TV in the early to mid 2000s. More recently, films have turned to podcasts for inspiration. The 2018 Halloween revival pulled from the very popular true crime subgenre of podcasts as a means to reintroduce and reunite Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Godzilla vs. Kong and the Insomniac Studios Spiderman games mined from another subset of podcasts, the Conspiracy Theory Pod. This kind of show has proven incredibly popular, with certain episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience and Alex Jones's InfoWars podcasts being prime examples. In the Spider-Man games, J. Jonah Jameson is the Jones proxy and largely serves as comedic relief, with the player unlocking new episodes of his podcast as they progress through the game's story and traverse New York. The Jameson character, with his in-your-face bravado, wrong-headed stubbornness, far-out conspiracies, and major anti-Spidey bias, is a clear satire of Jones and his ilk. While Jameson's fervent defense of his home city of New York is a sympathetic motivation for the character, at no point is it suggested that his crazed conspiracies are anything but outright lies or even remotely tethered to reality. This reinvention of the fan-favorite character was universally well received, and judging from the post-credits scene in Spider-Man Far From Home, Marvel Studios and Sony appear to be headed in a similar creative direction for the MCU reincarnation of the character. I would argue this is an example of depicting a conspiracy theorist well in media. Jameson has always represented the worst kind of journalism, and the games do a good job of updating this for modern audiences. For example, the Jameson from the Raimi Spider-Man films was a member of the tabloid press, on the prowl for the latest scandals and ready to spin any event to fit his narrative. The Insomniac games take this a step further, reflecting the media landscape of today, with Jameson now being a member of the fake news, not just spinning stories but creating new ones wholesale from his imagination. A character such as this in a series so popular with young people may well improve their media literacy as they learn not to trust any and all sources and to do their own research. Conversely, a media property I felt failed with its portrayal of a conspiracy theorist podcaster is the new Godzilla vs. Kong film. Despite delivering on large-scale destruction and awe-inspiring visuals, I found its depiction of Brian Tyree Henry's character Bernie Hayes left a bad taste in my mouth. Firstly, unlike Jameson, the audience is expected to sympathize with and root for Hayes. The film opens with a recording of his podcast. Broadly similar to Jones's, it features him ranting into a microphone about vast, insidious plots and cover-ups, all of which, it turns out, are true. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with this on a story level. I mean, as audiences, we are well used to characters we know to be in the right, being ostracized by society and pushed into the fringes. Think of Doc Brown in Back to the Future. And it's natural to assume a person in Hayes' position would turn to the internet to spread his theories and discuss them with like-minded individuals. I do, however, find issue in the film's spreading of real-life, long-debunked conspiracy theories to establish a trust and understanding between Hayes and Millie Bobby Brown's Madison. I'm talking about this scene wherein Hayes, unsure whether to trust Madison and her companion, played by Julian Dennison, asks the pair a simple question: tap or no tap? Dennison has no idea what he's talking about, but Brown answers confidently: no tap. It is explained that the government adds fluoride to tap water in an effort to make the population docile and easy to manipulate. Oh, and by the way, the government learned this all from the Nazis. If this sounds like something you might hear Jones say on his podcast, it's because it is. In fact, this 2008 article from Jones's website prisonplanet.com makes these exact claims. And Jones has also stated that the chlorinated water he drank as a child has caused his IQ to drop by at least 20 points. Of course, these claims are hogwash. The Nazi link to fluoridation of water has long been debunked, and no link has been found between fluoride consumption and passivity or obedience. While one, severely flawed 2019 study claims a causal link between a mother's consumption of high amounts of fluoride during pregnancy and the slightly lower IQ scores in her sons, other studies have failed to find such a connection, and most institutes consider the fluoridation of water to be one of the greatest public health triumphs of all time, with the introduction of fluoride helping to drastically reduce the amount of cavities, fillings, and tooth decay in the general populace. And, as an interesting aside, the average IQ scores also increased significantly during that time. So the claims Hayes makes in this scene are totally unfounded, yet they are said by a character we are expected to trust, and who is shown repeatedly to be vindicated and in the right. And not only are they not challenged or questioned by other characters in the scene, they're supported and expanded upon by Millie Bobby Brown's character. I personally find this to be unnecessarily reckless on the part of the filmmakers. While I certainly don't think audiences go to Godzilla movies searching for advice on public policy issues, I do think it is a bit irresponsible to portray an outright conspiracy theorist as a hero in a major studio film, at a time when conspiracies such as QAnon are causing real strife in many people's lives and are actively fraying the public discourse. And we know a film's portrayal can affect audience opinions on important matters. For instance, a 2015 study which surveyed viewers before and after watching the films Argo and Zero Dark 30 found that audiences' opinions on questions such as how they rate the direction their country is headed, their trust in their government, and the effectiveness of their military all changed significantly after viewing. Right now, we don't need films glorifying conspiracy belief systems and repeating worn-out lies. There was a time when conspiracy theories and those that spread them could be looked at as inconsequential, pure entertainment. It's how Jones ended up appearing in the films of Richard Linklater as a joke. But we know now the ideology Jones and his kind are spreading is toxic and can have real-world implications. We therefore need to be responsible with how we portray characters like him in films and media. That said, let's explore how the film could have handled this character more tactfully. If I was giving notes on the script, I'd have two main suggestions. Suggestion 1. Don't bring real-life conspiracies into the film's universe. Consider how that scene I talked about could have gone if instead of talking about tap water, Hayes simply asked the characters' opinions on events that have happened within the Monsterverse, the government's response to the Godzilla attacks, whether or not they believe in the Hollow Earth theory, or something else. This keeps the conspiracies in-universe, stops the script from repeating dangerous untruths, and even gives the writer an opportunity to build out the world's lore and the characters' points of view. Suggestion 2 is much more dramatic, but it basically boils down to cutting out this storyline altogether. Having watched the film, I honestly don't feel these characters add much to the movie. Dennison tries to keep things upbeat with his comedic relief, but overall their storyline doesn't amount to much, and their impact in the film's finale is pretty negligible. Cutting these scenes will leave the film leaner and give more time for what the audience is really after. A giant lizard and monkey brawling it out for our entertainment. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for more. You can check out previous videos of mine, including ones on Tenet's unusual sound mixing and how a scene in The Godfather changed film editing forever. Bye for now.